show you how you might begin to encourage her to not get up on the counter and not become a counter surfer. So she's very interested in this rawhide. So I'm going to just put that up here so she's looking at it. But I'm going to click her when she turns her face away and looks at me instead. So again, I'm going to get her interested in it. And you might at home start with something even less interesting. Maybe, maybe an apple. Something that's not even very interesting. The point is, all you're trying to do is get her to look at something up on the counter. But then turning her head to look to you for a treat. What's that? What's that? Good. I'm looking for that little head turn. I'm clicking the head turn. So I get her interested in it. But she knows what's working is looking to me. And little by little, I'm making it more and more available to her. Good. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I'm putting the chip around her and clicking her when she looks to me. Because what I have is obviously better. This. Oh, hello. Good. I'm clicking when she looks away. We might even bring over a chair. And I'm going to bring over the chair so it's putting something a little closer to her eye level. There. And I'm going to click her for looking at me. So it's more accessible to her. Ginger. Yes. I'm going to click her for looking away. Ginger. Yes. And click her for looking away. Now she's getting how this works. And she's starting to realize that by looking away, she's getting fed. Ginger. Good girl. And I'm going to make it a little harder by bringing the treats a little closer. Ginger. Yes. And I'm going to feed her for making that choice. Good job. Bring that chip a little closer. Ginger. Ginger. Good girl. Ginger. Good girl. Ginger. Good girl. I'm going to try that from a different angle. Ginger. Good girl. So she's making the choice to turn away from the chip, the rawhide chip. Ginger. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to move this so you can see it a little better. But I want you to see Ginger well. So the chip is pretty available here. Good girl. Treating her or staying away or looking away from it. Ginger. Good girl. Ginger. Good girl. Ginger. Ginger. Good girl. Good girl. Pick up. Ginger. Yes, ma'am. So over and over, she's being reinforced by turning away from the chip. Ginger. Yes, ma'am. And again. Ginger. Good girl. Now let's try something a little harder. I'm going to move up from the rawhide to, here's more of a beefy treat. Yes, so this is going to be harder. I'm going to maybe put it up a little bit higher, a little higher. Let me show you where it is. So it is for looking away from it. Let me bring her in closer so you can see. Focus on her now. But I'm going to point out this delicious beefy treat. Ginger. Yes. And click her for turning away from it. Oh, so delicious. Ginger. Good. So over and over, she's turning away from the possibility of getting this treat for the assurance that she's going to get something better. Good girl. Ginger. Yes. Alrighty. So, here we are. I'm going to put that a little closer. This is another kind of beef stick. Ginger. Yes. And you can see how quickly she's responding. How this grows over time. Yes, Ginger. Is that pretty soon, rather than me having to say the word Ginger, she's just going to automatically, Ginger, because she's been reinforced so many times. She's going to just start turning away, as she just did there, without any prompting from me. Yes. So you can see she's doing that. Yes. Now she's just merely looking at the snack over there, and I'm clicking her. You probably can't see very well. So all I'm doing is she's looking at the snack on the chair. That was more than looking, but she's looking. There you go. But immediately she's looking to me for food. So she's looking at the chair, looking at me, looking at the beef strip, looking at me, looking at the beef strip, to me, Ginger. Yes, looking at me, looking at the beef strip, looking at me, good girl. Looking at beef, looking at me, good girl. And you're getting this very automatic response. That one was super fast. I'm going to move this a little closer. Oh, I don't want her to get out of the picture. So again, Ginger. Good. Beef strip right here. Ginger. And as I do this, she's just more and more going to be like, I didn't want to go for that thing. What I'm going for is the reward for not going after the snack. Yes. Yes. I don't know if you can see her head turning from side to side. Her head is swiveling from side to side. So, yes. Ginger. So the ways that you progress with this exercise is going to harder and harder things to turn away from. I went right to the beef stick because she's so good. Yeah. But you might start with something easier. Maybe start with an apple and then build up to, say, a piece of bread or something like that. And then eventually build up to a piece of meat, something really good. So that's one way you're making this exercise harder. I don't know if you can see the snack. Here you go, girl. That's one way. Yes. Another way I'm making this harder is I started at the top of the, I started up at the counter, which is quite a lot higher, and I moved into this chair, which is a lot lower. One way I might make it even harder would be, yeah, look at that. Oh, beef steak. Yes. One way that you might make it harder, or I would make it harder in the future, is to maybe put the beef stick on the floor. Oops, it's falling on the floor actually. Let's try this just for fun. This is way too far, too fast. But I'm gonna offer this. Leave it. Good girl. It's essentially a leave it. But you don't want to connect it necessarily. You don't necessarily want it connected to the phrase leave it, because you want her to be doing this even when you're not around. So you're just trying to get lots of reinforcement for turning away from something that's really, really delicious. Up on the counter. Yes. because we know through Pavlov's dog that you can connect completely unrelated things. That would be, you can connect her turning away from the food and getting the snack. She starts to build a happy physiological response about turning away from the food because it's paid so often. And that's how you start to develop this internalized feeling about, oh, I see something on the counter, but I'm going to turn away because that's how I feel best. That's something that's made me feel good so far. So that's how I would work with it. So again, when you start out with something easier, work up to something hard or really meaty like a beef steak or hot dog or something like that. You might also start on the kitchen counter and then work your way down over time into something lower that she has more access to and is taking more, it's taking more willpower to turn away from. And then over time, you'll probably start seeing it just getting better and better. One other thing, and I will tell you this, having had a counter surfer, one other thing you might think about, when she comes into your kitchen, she probably looks up. You see her body language change because she's looking up on the counter, looking to see if there's anything that that might be up there. You might start mining things down low, dropping actual food treats, dog treats around on the floor and close in toward the cupboards and things like that, so that when she's exploring, as she will invariably explore in the kitchen, the more of the reward is coming down low instead of this mysterious, wonderful thing being up above. She's going to be looking around up above and nothing's there, but when she keeps her head down low, that's when she finds things that are treats and more inclining her to keep her head down low where all the good stuff is. So that's one of the things that we worked on today. Thanks.